According to the Nature Conservancy, a carbon footprint is the total amount of greenhouse gases emitted into the earth generated by our actions. This is including carbon dioxide and methane. Greenhouse gases, also known as GHG emissions, are caused on the average carbon footprint for each person in the United States. And it is causing 16 tons, one of the highest carbon footprints in the world. Currently, the global average is 4 tons. This increase in carbon footprint is causing our Earth's average temperature to rise by 2 degrees. If each individual on Earth can lower their carbon footprint from 16 tons to at least 2 tons, there might be a cumulative increase in temperature. Ideology that aims to reduce the environment impact by both individuals and society will make a positive change and reduce climate change and negative environmental impacts. In other words, sustainable living is a method of reducing these individual carbon footprints. Module 8's experiment was to examine the daily activities in my life and how it is affecting the environment. For the first part, I observed my habits for 5 days, and the second part, I observed them for 2. I had recorded my transportation, food consumption, energy consumption, and water consumption in all of the tables below. As you can see, for data table 1, consumption and summary. For the trash, these were my findings. For transportation, for food, energy, water, the next step in this process was to calculate my carbon footprint. Using the nature.org website that was provided on the lab tests, I came with these further findings in my results. It told me that I would need 4.3 Earths to sustain my living habits, and if everyone's lived like me, that would be crazy. Also, in the United States, it's 5.0 Earths for the average. Here is my results for Table 2. some of my ideas for reducing my carbon footprint was that I found most successful, and some were very unsuccessful. That's because one flaw in my experiment is that I did not give myself enough time to compare my findings. My first experiment I did for 5 days, and on the second one I did only 2 because I ran out of time. My most successful reducing of my carbon footprint would be my transportation. We, as a family, committed to walking for 2 days out of those out of those 2, and we did not use the car. I think that we can definitely do that more often and take the kids to school by walking. My least successful was the electricity, since we decorated for Halloween and nearly all of our plugins are filled up with decorations and lights and inflatables. I think one way we can mitigate that is by turning off all of our plugged in activities before we go to bed. During this exercise, I realized that there are some things that are not going to be very sustainable for our lifestyle. For example, food and the food that we consume is difficult with kids who are picky eaters. If it was just my husband and I think we could get away with eating things that were not in season or picking up things that are from the locally sourced markets and farmer stands. But that being said, it's hard to stay away from foods that I know my children would consume, like proteins, chicken, pork, cheese, and beef, and all of that good stuff. Table 4, consumption summary after reflection. Completing this lab really helped me learn about my carbon footprint and how I rate compared to others in the United States and other countries. I knew I had a few negative habits, and regarding my transportation use, I was able to look at the ways I can improve those. I was delighted to find out that my carbon footprint was lower than most individuals, and the sources that I can change are very fathomable for a family. It seems that most of us can have a great impact on our communities and our surroundings.